Okay, so are you ready to kind of like dive deep today? I'm thinking we should tackle this whole idea of reaching financial freedom. And, Grant Sabatier, I mean, he's got this whole radical approach, right, about like ditching the 40-year grind to get there.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's really inspiring to like hear him lay it all out.
It is. And, we were looking at his book, Financial Freedom, for this deep dive, right? And then also that episode of his podcast, How to Achieve Financial Freedom Faster Than You Think.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he's challenging all this conventional wisdom,
Yeah.
about work and retirement and all that. And I don't know about you, but like, one of the things that really stuck with me was that whole thing he says about how time is more valuable than money.
Yeah.
It's not just like a catchy phrase.
Yeah.
He actually like breaks it down,
Yeah.
why time is this appreciating asset.
Right.
And I think that makes a lot of sense. Like, the skills that you build today, they only become more valuable over time.
Right. Absolutely. And Sabatier really drives this point home in his book.
Yeah.
He argues that money, it often depreciates, right? I mean, thanks to inflation, of course.
Yeah.
But the time that you invest in yourself, in your own personal and professional growth, that actually appreciates.
Right.
So you become more skilled, you become more knowledgeable and ultimately more valuable over time.
Exactly. It's like a whole different way of looking at wealth.
Yep.
I mean, when you put it like that.
Mhm.
But it also kind of makes you question, this whole idea of trading your time for a paycheck,
Yeah.
which is exactly what Sabatier says is the biggest mistake that people make
Mm-hmm.
when they're, trying to reach financial freedom.
He calls it the biggest trap that most people fall into
Yeah.
because you're basically just limiting your earning potential, right? Your income is like capped by the number of hours you can physically work.
Right.
So then that's where this whole idea of multiple income streams comes in, right? So if relying only on your salary is the trap, then how do we break free? You know what I mean? Like how do we actually gain control over our time and our finances?
Well, Sabatier says that the key is to diversify your income.
Okay.
So he really encourages people to explore side hustles,
Mm-hmm.
investments and ways to create passive income.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about building a portfolio of income sources
Yes.
rather than, just relying on that single job.
Okay, that's starting to make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, I think a lot of people get overwhelmed when they think about side hustles. Like, what are some actual examples that he recommends?
Well, he's really all about leveraging the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he talks a lot about online businesses, things like blogging, e-commerce, or creating digital products and selling those.
Okay.
And then, of course, he also highlights investments that can generate passive income.
Yeah.
So things like, dividend-paying stocks and
Right.
rental properties.
Right.
Right. That makes sense. But I'm also curious about, like, his own story.
Right.
Did he always have this mindset? Or, did he experience any kind of setbacks along the way?
That's actually one of the most fascinating things about Sabatier's story is that he actually reached financial independence in his early 30s after being laid off from his job.
Wow.
So it was kind of this like forced shift in perspective,
Yeah. Right?
It really forced him to rethink his whole approach to money, and it's actually what inspired him to share his journey and help others.
I mean, that's a pretty powerful reminder that setbacks,
Yeah.
they can actually be opportunities in disguise.
Yeah.
But, beyond like these practical strategies that we've been talking about,
Uh,
it seems like there's also like a deeper mindset shift involved here, right?
oh, absolutely. Sabatier, he's a big believer that money should buy freedom, and not just stuff.
Uh,
He talks a lot about aligning your financial goals with your values and, essentially designing a life where you're free to pursue your passions and spend time doing the things that truly matter to you.
so like, okay, if we shift our focus from accumulating possessions to prioritizing experiences,
Hmm.
then how does that actually change our financial decision making?
I think it becomes less about, keeping up with the Joneses
Hmm.
and more about investing in what truly brings you joy and fulfillment.
Yeah.
And it also, it means thinking long term about how your financial decisions are impacting your time and freedom.
Right. And speaking of long term, he also talks about calculating your FI number, right?
Yes.
Which seems pretty crucial to this whole process.
Absolutely. The FI number is the amount of money that you would need to have invested to cover your living expenses indefinitely.
Oh, wow.
And Sabatier, he provides all these tools and strategies in his book for determining this number, which then helps you set realistic financial goals and track your progress.
So it's like taking the guesswork out of it. Wow. Yeah, this has been really eye-opening. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to think about, okay? What is one thing that you will change today to start building your own path to financial freedom.
And remember that true financial freedom isn't just about the numbers you know. It's about having the freedom to design a life that reflects your values and allows you to spend your time in a truly meaningful way.
That's a great point.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, definitely something to think about.
Hmm.
All right, well, thank you for joining us for another deep dive,
It was a pleasure.
and we'll see you next time.
See you later.